Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Global Economic Outlook. And this is the second edition of the investment series. In the last video, we looked at equities and fixed income. Today, we'll start first with agriculture. So, investment in agriculture can either be directly in when you invest in plants, when you invest in crops, when you invest in animals. That's the direct investment in agriculture. But these days, you also have other options where you what you call shared ownership, where you find companies like some financial technology companies have developed some solutions whereby they pull funds together from various interested investors and then invest in farms on their behalf. Then the maturity of the over the harvest period, after the harvest period, then whatever returns gained is shared among those who have invested. So that's certainly less risky than having a direct ownership, especially when you do not have the expertise to monitor whatever farm you have, or probably you don't even have sufficient time. The risk that can come with that is probably if the financial technology company gets into trouble themselves, probably when the production in the farm doesn't deliver as much as they want. That means they can't sell as much to also share whatever returns they have promised at the start of the business. So, of course, but if you have the expertise, why not? You can invest directly in agriculture, but the indirect method, is less risky. Then we talk of real estate. Also, with real estate, there can be direct ownership where you buy, or lease lands and houses. But it can also be the indirect when you use buy into a real estate investment trust. More likely that is traded, but for instance, in a country like Nigeria, that's not so popular right now, the real estate investment trust. But for instance, in America or some of the other developed nations, the real estate investment trust is quite, an attractive option by which you can gain exposure into the real estate market without really, owning any building itself. So that option is also available. Then you talk about season-induced investment. Now, this is just about being sensitive to what the market needs. A lot of businesses sprang up as a result of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020 because people saw a need, for to start making some certain things. For instance, mask became very popular. Of course, some people took advantage of that to start making masks. Then you talk about sanitizers and some other things. Of course, people work from home a lot now these days, and so there are also a lot of investment options, coming forth, springing forth from such. So it's just about being sensitive to the environment when it comes to season-induced investment. It can be short term if you think that the opportunity will only exist for a short period, or it can be long term if you think that there has been a major shift and things will continue to be like that even in future. So basically, season-induced investments is about sensitivity to what the environment needs. And then we talk lastly about investment in passion or skills. Of course, people possess innate skills which can easily be invested in. Now, when it comes to this, there has to be some caution. Whatever it is that you have a passion for, you must be able to determine if it's capable of generating returns. Because not all things one is passionate about can generate income. But if it is something that is marketable, can generate income, then why not? You can invest in such a passion, you can invest in such a skill. It can involve even cooking, it can be singing, it can be artwork, it can be fashion. But whatever it is, just make sure that indeed you are good at it, and that whatever it is marketable. Because if it is not, then you might not be able to generate the required returns uh, for for yourself, which is why it's important. So that's the last edition of our investment series. You can check the first part of the video out where we talked about equities and fixed income. And also want to use this opportunity to invite you for the third live edition of the Global Economic Outlook, which is scheduled for 31st July 2021, and that will feature uh, Dr. Sanusi Oyare, who is the Executive Director of the Rural Electrification Fund, and Mr. Bimbola Onolapo, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Leap and Tower. So we'll see you again next week on another edition of the Global Economic Outlook. Remember to subscribe to the channel and set up the notification button. See you then.